I came here today to present my Be the Difference project, which is a project in collaboration with 10 young survivors of the Manchester Arena attacks, and I work in partnership with the National Emergencies Trust, and we're advocating for consistent and improved support services for young people affected by national disasters. We are a group of people who survived the arena attacks who are taking something so awful and trying to make something positive about it. We did focus groups followed by a questionnaire for over 200 young people who were under 18 at the time of the attacks. But we've been communicating that in different ways. So today we came with a group of young people and they performed a song that one of them wrote, which was specifically about her experience of kind of being a survivor of a terrorist attack at a young age, but also kind of gaining strength from her peers and working on the project with them.
For the COVID-19 parenting response that we had, that was the first humanitarian crisis work that we did, and we have evidence that parenting support could help families to cope, provide mental health and psychosocial support for families, for parents and caregivers. So we took evidence from that to create parenting in crisis resources, and these resources were in response to COVID-19, teaching them how to cope through that and even how to speak to their children about COVID-19. But we just didn't develop on our own. We partnered with UN agencies there in the development. So that was so important, first of all. So from the beginning, getting partners, identifying relevant stakeholders that you can collaborate with. And that was step number one. We developed them in partnership with others. Then in dissemination, we continued dissemination with these partners and leveraged on existing networks, to get other partners. And of course, we also did cold calling, got new partners as well in different countries. And we would reach out to them like, we have this, and of course we look at people doing something similar, and who would appreciate these resources. So we partnered with them, and we allowed some flexibility, that they could do cultural adaptations, but the evidence had to, they had to still use the evidence.
The Showmen community, first and foremost, means any man, woman or non-binary individual who live and work within the fairground industry. And basically, going back all the way to the medieval period, you can find traces of show people within British culture. And yeah, we kind of formulated as a group around about 1889 with the formation of the Van Dwellers Association that later became the Showmen's Guild of Great Britain. I founded the Showmen's Mental Health Charity specifically, and I realised there's no mental health statistics of the community at all. And we've got this amazing charity that's running and providing services for the community, So we're doing all these amazing things, but still we don't know what those statistics are in terms of areas we need to kind of focus on specifically, to kind of break the stigma around mental health there. I emailed Professor Margaret Greenfields about 2 years ago for some support with my doctorate, basically. So I was in conversation with Margaret, going back and forth really about, just different research studies that she'd done in the past, and we kind of got together and formulated this idea of, well, probably the best place to start would be a general health study. We surveyed 80 showmen in 2 locals, so that's Cambridgeshire and Greater Manchester. A lot of those showmen came from different places all across the UK, so it's not only based around, this is a showman community in Cambridge, but this is also a showman community in Essex, this is in Newcastle, this is from Lancashire and Greater Manchester, and they travelled here to be at Cambridge Midsummer Fair. So it's very interesting as well, that dynamic, because you start to go, this is an interconnected network of people that travel all around the UK, and why do we not know the health needs of these people?
Most of my research it takes place in classrooms. It's about the interactions between teachers and students, so there's quite a lot of very practical stuff. And I think also because my other half of my job is about teaching student teachers to be English teachers, and so we're always thinking about matters of teaching and learning. How do you make a change? How do you get people to make a difference in the lives of young people? And so kind of everything is about impact in some way and engaging with the real world a lot of the time. Well, what I've been talking about today is about this project, This in Colour, and this is a campaign which is sponsored by Penguin Books and the Runnymede Trust, and when the research report came out, Penguin Books have this amazing set of people who are really good at getting out messages into the media. Obviously, it's what they do, and I think that I've really learned a huge amount from this partnership, and what I've learned is about the importance of tailoring messages to people, thinking about who you're trying to impact, but also like the quality of design can really matter. And I mean, not everybody can afford to have a brilliantly designed report every time they do a piece of research, but it's made me think about, got a new article coming out, I'm going to think about visual abstracts and how I can get people to engage with research, because a lot of my research, even the research papers which nobody reads because they're in academic journals, are kind of accessible to teachers, and I want teachers to be reading them, and I'm interested in kind of engaging teachers with what's in them. And so that's about thinking about ways that we can just kind of get research out in different formats to make an impact in the real world.